Greetings and welcome, minions, to another episode of Let's Play Dungeons 2, a game of winter. Where we have to deal with these annoying grub-like thingies. Alright, I'll endure a few more waves. I could set up traps, but I don't think the grubs ever bother with that.
The snowstorm was weakening. Not much longer, and it would be gone.
See, this research almost looks like it's actually finished already. Right, I think I've researched everything else.
The snowstorm had moved on, leaving icy clouds behind it.
Yeah, if only those grubs didn't explode and they were killed.
Payday.
Baby giant worms, yeah. Just damn bloody annoying is what it is. Yeah, and two of my archers are unconscious, which doesn't help. Right, that works. Right. Pretty much nothing left to upgrade. Well, the mana capacity, but you know, I am nowhere near close to the max, so that's not really a priority. Alright, let's deal with the other one.
Once again, the undead had won. If they weren't completely brainless, they would probably celebrate. Unfortunately, the battle on the surface had not gone unnoticed. A hero camp very close by had noticed it, and immediately sent some scouts out to find out what had happened.
Right, so now I can set up whatever I want over here. When it comes to traps.
Enemies have entered the dungeon. A giant worm burst out of the ground and entered the dungeon.
Oh, can we not stop doing that, please? Or at the very least, let the heroes deal with the worm.
A snowstorm began to sweep across the overworld.
You know, that works. It won't do much, but you know.
Enemies have entered the dungeon. Payday. The snowstorm was weakening. Not much longer, and it would be gone. The snowstorm had moved on, leaving icy paths behind it.
All right.
There are enemies in your dungeon. That evil had killed a giant worm. That was even easier than a safari. There are enemies in your dungeon.
Well, they are certainly being very relentless. At this pace, I can never get outside.
A giant worm appeared in your dungeon. There are enemies in your dungeon. The corrupting evil had defeated one of the giant worms. If its creatures had been hungry, it could have made a stew out of the thing.
Oh, what do you know? The heroes are actually being useful for a change.
Enemies have entered the dungeon. A snowstorm hit the overworld. Payday.
Alright. Just give me a moment to set up the traps. So that I can do this a little bit more at ease. I don't really need the gold anymore. Just need a few moments of relative peace.
The snowstorm was weakening. Not much longer, and it would be gone.
Just so my minions can rest up and be at full health, or at least decent health. Don't suppose I can summon them outside? Supposedly I can. Probably a better idea when there are
The snowstorm had
chance.
moved on, leaving icy paths behind it.
Alright. Let's bring everyone outside. Alright, kill the tower. Let's create some peace in our time.
giant worm burst out of the ground and entered the dungeon.
Alright, well, we're on a roll, and I'm not immediately behind me!
A dwarf camp. Forwards. Follow me and destroy the living.
As a matter of fact, a dwarf camp did appear before the corrupting evil's creatures. The dwarves had stored tons of dynamite there, apparently in an attempt to get through to previously unmined gold veins. This was dangerous territory. The slightest wrong move could cause the highly explosive mixture to explode. Fortunately, the cannon fodder burning evil's creatures were already dead. So, in a bit of bustling evilness, it just sent them on in. With a mighty bang, the dynamite took the dwarf camp with it on a trip out of this world. However, the slavering evil had first destroyed all of the dwarves, so none were around to die in this spectacle. Tragic.
Yes, utterly tragic.
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
I suppose this constitutes a increased threat to me
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
in ramping up the difficulty for the final levels.
A giant worm has been killed. Good thing, too.
Right. Is everybody up? And almost to full levels as well. Cool. Oh, it's not yet recharged. We can wait for a little bit longer.
Payday.
Right. Well, plenty of money to go around, so I'm not worried about that. Seems we've created a relative peace. Alright, come on. Come on. Give me the spell.
A snowstorm began to sweep across the overworld.
Well, we'll have to do that next time. Thank you for watching.